The Unbreakable Mind Protocol, Part 3 of 7. There is a difference between having a thought and being fused to it. Most people have never experienced the difference. The ones who have are nearly impossible to destabilize. Every high-pressure moment produces thoughts. I am going to fail this. They can see how nervous I am. I am not good enough for this. What if everything falls apart? For most people, these thoughts arrive and immediately become the operating reality. They feel true. They feel like facts. They feel like descriptions of what is actually happening. And so the person responds to them as if they are. Pulling out, shrinking, confirming the prediction. Psychologists call this cognitive fusion, the state where you cannot see the gap between the thought and yourself, where the thought and the thinker become the same thing. Cognitive diffusion is the deliberate creation of that gap. It was developed by psychologist Stephen Hayes as part of acceptance and commitment therapy. It was used initially in clinical settings and later adopted by military psychologists and elite sport performance teams worldwide. The technique does not ask you to challenge the thought, dispute it, replace it, or prove it wrong. It asks you to see it as a thought, not a fact, not a message from reality, a mental event passing through, like a sound passing through a room. The specific technique used with Olympic athletes is simple. When a destructive thought arrives, prefix it. Instead of, I am going to fail. You say internally, I am having the thought that I am going to fail. That prefix does something measurable. It creates a layer of observation between you and the thought. You are now watching the thought rather than being the thought. And the moment you are watching it, you cannot simultaneously be consumed by it. The diffusion works even when the thought stays, even when it feels persistent and loud, because the thinker is now separate from the thought, and the separate thinker can still act. This is what psychological stability actually looks like in elite performers, not the absence of destructive thoughts. They have them, the same ones you do, sometimes worse, but they have practiced creating the gap until the gap is automatic, until a threatening thought can exist in their mind without becoming their instruction. Start with the prefix today. On the next thought that would normally stop you, I am having the thought that 3 extra words. The gap those 3 words create is the difference between the thought running you and you watching the thought run past. Part 4 reveals the 4-second window before stress takes over your body. It also reveals a technique for using that window that predates modern psychology by 2,000 years. Follow for Part 4, new videos uploaded daily.